Brian Mark says, "Hi, Brian. The massage about Christmas Eve service is too small on the church website. Can't you make it bigger so people can read it?"
Oh, beautiful star of Bethlehem, shining far through shadows dim, giving a light for those who long have gone, and guiding the wise men on their way unto the place where Jesus lay. Beautiful star of Bethlehem, shine on, shine on. Oh, beautiful star of Bethlehem, shine upon us until the glory dawn. Give us the light to light the way unto the land of perfect day. Oh, beautiful star of Bethlehem, shine on, shine on.
That's what my mom used to listen to back in the day. This kind of stuff.
Oh, beautiful star. Right, and we're here.
Welcome.
Brandon will be here momentarily. There he is.
Okay. Brandon's actually hosting the show today.
Is he?
Yes. He's got all the topics and frame of reference. But this is the Friday before Christmas. This is Uneducated. If you like the episode, please hit the like button so that I don't have any idea what it does, but
Do
I
you
think it's
think-
supposed to help us.
They've liked it because we weren't here for half an hour.
Maybe.
Did
Possibly.
we get better response not being here for half
Probably.
an hour?
When you make people wait, they think something important's happening.
Right?
Yeah.
We got one on the white stream
And 17 on the black
and
stream.
3 on the black stream.
All right. Well, we're glad that you're with us. Don't forget to subscribe or send links to other people and tell them to subscribe. I don't know why either. Why you do that? You just tell them to do that. That's what you're supposed
That's
to
what
do.
you're supposed to do.
So do that. Don't forget to check our website for updates on the weather. We're kind of holding out because this is really the only time we'll be able to be together before Christmas. So our Christmas Eve service is this evening. And so we don't want people to be unsafe, but we would like to be together if we can, but we'll see how things go. And I'll try to get an update by this afternoon. At the latest, maybe 1, 2 o'clock. We'll just see what the weather looks like, and then we'll put it on. But it is on our website, so you can go there and find out more information.
Yes.
All right.
So, guest host Brandon, what do you have for us today?
I'm not really a good host.
Well, you don't have any choice now. You got to
Yeah,
do
you're
it.
kind of
I don't even know how to be a host.
you're out there now.
Like old son.
Well, maybe we could talk about that human meat project, that thing
That's delicious.
I talked
Alright.
to you about.
Yeah, let's talk about
I
it.
haven't been on the website yet. I just saw that yesterday, so maybe we can bring up the website and show everybody.
You
All right.
you mean like the Human Meat Project website?
Yeah.
Did you see the video of the guy?
Black Scout Survival.
He was growing it in his apartment. He was growing meat culture from his own skin. Then he ate it.
So I was telling Brian
That
that
makes me want to gag just thinking about it.
this company is like, people donate their leg or whatever. You'd be like a 45-year-old vegetarian,
Yeah.
white, 350 grams of this or that. You can
And
buy
they're
it.
selling it.
Yeah, brains or whatever. But you become a donor, just like an organ donor. See what I'm saying?
I don't know why I want to eat 45-year-old person. I don't like a cow that's older than 2 or 3 years old.
Yeah, I don't know either.
That's gross. Let's see
Prepping
what
us for cannibalism.
Yeah, well, that's where the occult always goes.
Could be.
Killing babies and eating each other. Yeah. Well, let's see if we can look up a website. Do you got one on hand?
I think it is the Human Meat Project.
What a good thing to talk about on the eve of Christmas. The eve of Christmas.
Well, this is just where things go.
Look at that. Our donors.
Oh, yeah, I've been on here before.
I've been here before.
I've seen
I'm a
this.
customer.
Matter of fact, they owe me money.
People for people.
One body
Can
can
feed 40 people.
Donate now. Together we could end world starvation.
Do you think I could feed like 80 people? I would be well marbled.
You would be. You'd be like that Wagyu meat or what,
I would be.
What's
I'd
that
be
steak?
human wagyu.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
do we want to pump the promotional video?
It's 9 seconds. I don't know what it would be for 9 seconds. So Brandon, what intrigued you about
Hold
this?
on, let's see what
I
it
ran
is.
across it when I was cleaning the house yesterday.
Oh wow.
Oh, there we go. We're
Quite-
choking.
Quite attractive. It's a lot prettier than cows and pigs.
Wow.
That's it.
That's it? That's
Shows you
supposed
all
to
the
make
people
me
you could
eat
eat.
people?
I guess.
Boy, I would like to eat some of that old Siberian Eskimo I saw. Ew.
Making a donation.
So,
Harvest time.
What's end date and harvest time? What's that?
end date.
Sometimes if a donor is fully committed to donating their body to society, we can give them an end date service. For an end date service, a donor can choose any date they want to be harvested. So what do they do? Cryovac them?
Oh, I'll take you out back and cattle prong you.
You can make important arrangements and have time to live their full life up until the date they want to be eaten.
Wow.
We highly advise meat donors don't punch themselves with bats, fall down, do anything that might damage our delicious meat.
Yeah, and look at the last paragraph. The Human Meat Project will provide spiritual or religious service if the donor is spiritual or religious. Well, who in their right mind if they're is going to donate their body for people to eat anyway?
Listen, Jesus, I decided one last kind action before I left would be for them to eat my meat and my bones.
You know, this is weird because people used to be like, "Oh, NAMBLA, the North American Men and Boys Love thing." They were, "Oh, that doesn't exist. That's not real." Well, it's real. It's a website. It was out there 20 years ago when I was in Bible college, and it's still out there. And yes, they are trying to promote man-boy love. And people would go like, "Oh, this isn't real. This isn't real." And 10, 15 years from now,
Probably will be.
it'll be the highlight. Yeah. People will be doing it.
Even if it is not going, they're just prepping us to get it going.
Right, right.
Our donors will take care by our specialized team to make sure they are treated with full respect and care. Donors will be prepared emotionally and physically to enter the harvest room. Donors will be given time to spend their last moment as a person before they become human meat.
So wait a minute. That means they're killing people?
Yeah, but okay, so
Like Canada. It's
Canada,
legal.
have you heard? Like
No.
they are. There
Line
are
you up
people
on the
in
lawn.
Canada. If you can't pay your rent for your building,
Yeah?
Glenn Beck had it on. Guy couldn't pay rent for his building.
Okay.
He was going to be homeless.
Yeah.
So Canada just said, hey, you could kill yourself. And he's like, okay.
No.
Yeah. And then who else were they? There was a veteran who needed a stair chair.
Yeah.
Gonna wait forever. It's too expensive. We can't afford it. But you can kill yourself.
So they paid. So the government paid for him to kill himself.
Well, they're now recommending it as an option if you can't take care of yourself.
Wow.
This is where socialized medicine goes. Like, you can't... Society cannot fund
Right.
everybody else.
Right.
And when everybody else becomes too expensive, you have to start making not so many everybody else's.
Right.
So you can encourage them to be human meat. Mm-hmm. But you encourage them to die.
Right.
It's Dr. Kevorkian.
Well, I did hear an argument that Dr. Kevorkian actually was a compassionate man. for
Could've
those
been.
that were in he only. But was he the start of the slippery slope?
Could've been.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like his thing was more for people who were in severe chronic ailment.
Right.
Yeah, like why lay there and suffer for 7 days?
Right.
I know.
Yeah.
When God calls us all to suffer,
Mm-hmm.
we'll suffer in His name.
Yeah,
That comes in a lot of ways.
it does.
Might be married to the same person for 18 years. You might have chronic illness.
Chronic illness.
Chronic illness.
Yeah.
You might have to only buy chocolate pudding.
So what disturbs you about this, Brandon? The fact that
Everything.
people are eating other people, like, and making it mainstream, like just streamlining it, like it's a
Yeah, probably.
it's a service now.
Probably 50, 60 years ago, you would never hear this.
No.
You wouldn't have heard of this 10 years ago.
Okay. So here's my conspiracy. This is the road I run down. That what they're doing is they're normalizing human sacrifice.
Yes.
So before, the conspiracy was that they're doing this in circles in Hollywood and different places with children, blah, blah, blah. This now is normalizing it as a form of healthcare or providing meat for the population of people to eat.
Right.
But they're yeah. So this is just satanic rituals.
It is.
Being brought into the mainstream.
Well, and that was, we're killing our babies through abortion.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
So we have the babies thrown on the burning altar of Molech.
Right.
And then we're eating each other.
Yeah.
Cannibalism.
Right.
And I think a big news company wrote a story on this too. Not
Oh,
too
really?
long ago. Yeah. I forget who it was.
Wow. I think stuff like this, even though it's a small portion or a small number of organizations, or this just one organization that's doing this,
The thing is, though, it'll be funded
it will be eventually. Yeah.
by big money.
Right. But I think the red flag here is that human beings are devolving. They're becoming less like their creator. And this whole antichrist system is just really working overtime. And I don't think people recognize it. And they don't understand that unless people get back to a relationship with Christ and the morals that God taught, that we value, that life is sacred,
Right.
up to the point of the last breath, it's sacred, and every human life is sacred,
Right.
it's just going to keep going downhill.
Right.
It's just getting worse.
Well, and that's it started with, with the abortion thing, like, well, you wouldn't want to bring that baby into the world.
Right.
Like, well, why not?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a life.
Right.
So now we just now we have no value
Right.
on humans.
Yeah, instead of celebrating a handicap, someone's born with a handicap, instead of celebrating that person as a sacred life, now we say, well, we'd rather not them to suffer with that, so we'll just end their life early.
Right.
That's just crazy.
Well, that's what's going on in Canada. It is completely normalized. That was 2 weeks ago. I watched a thing. I don't remember if it was Tucker. It was somebody was talking to a body up in Canada who's kind of fighting it. Mm-hmm. You can just be depressed. It could be a temporary condition, and you can say, "I don't want to," and you would be dead that day.
Wow.
Like they're making it so that you can be dead that day.
So this is what's interesting, because here in the United States, everybody's talking about helping young people transition and feel okay with their identity and gender and whether they're transgender and that, because if they have someone they can trust and someone that can support them in their gender identity issues, they won't commit suicide.
Right.
And yet we have other countries that are literally giving a free ticket to kill yourself.
Right.
So it doesn't even make sense to me.
And in reality, the gender fluid commits suicide at a very high rate.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of irony.
Yeah.
That prime minister in Canada is
Trudeau.
Justin, yeah.
Yeah. No,
he's out there.
He's
He is.
pretty satanic.
Yeah.
I mean, they want to even take away them guys' hunting rifles.
Oh,
Oh,
I know.
yeah. Did you
I've heard that.
you see the bit about the outlawing a thing called the Buttmaster?
Uh-uh.
Do you know what the Buttmaster is? There's one made. It was on Tucker last night. He interviewed the guy who made it. It is a black handle. It's a zip gun, basically. And it's got a pullback spring. You put the 22 in the end, thread it on, and then you let the thing go, and you're firing a 22.
Right.
He made it like 30 years ago. It only one exists, but somehow the Buttmaster made it on Canada's list of banned firearms. And there's a lot of good questions like, how would one gun that's in the United States make it to that list? Unless I don't remember how they phrased the question, but it was an intriguing thought of like, how did that make it on the banned list? All the guns that you could list and name.
Well, they want everything.
Yeah, they do. So it doesn't even matter if it's a rumor in the wind.
Mm-mm.
They'll write it down.
Yeah.
And that's like, there's no mentions of guns in the Bible.
Right.
People are going to be dying by swords.
Yeah. But the sword could be an emblem of any implement of warfare, maybe, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
I think
We're going back to that.
we're going back to swords.
Yeah. It's possible.
I want a cool sword.
I do too.
I
Well, pull that. You can pull that one out back there if you want.
cool sword.
I want a katana.
You want one of those?
Katana.
I want that one that Snake Eyes has in G.I. Joe.
Listen,
That's a nice one.
because I think guns will eventually going to run out of bullets,
Yeah.
right? You're going to run out of modern production. Nobody's going to be able to make them bullets. Even if you go to black powder for a while, you're going to run out of powder. And you just go backwards, as we discussed a few weeks ago. Like, it seems like we're devolving.
Uh-huh.
So we're gonna go back to swords.
Yeah.
And when that comes, I'll volunteer to kill myself.
Really?
I do not want to be cut up by a sword.
No, that's why you cut. You have to cut. You don't cut. You don't be cut. You cut.
I'm not chasing anybody.
You don't have to chase them. They'll come at you.
Save a little extra ammo.
Oh, I know. I mean, but even that's gonna run out.
Yeah.
So that's why I was telling Brandon, I said, one of the things that I think makes me the most concerned is how these little bands of people, like whether they're
Marauders.
jihad, Muslim, any of them.
MS-13.
Yeah, they're training all the time for hand-to-hand combat, martial arts, all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So when they enter your house,
You're dead.
Unless you say, Lord, strike them, and he strikes them, you don't have much of a chance
No.
against these guys.
No.
Because they're like
The
trained.
military's training the MS-13.
I know.
But if you're somewhat trained, you might have a chance.
Exactly. You could train a little bit, possibly.
And your family.
And ultimately, like David going up against Goliath, all you need is a sling and a stone, and that's it.
Right. And to be hidden.
Right.
And surprise attack.
Yeah, surprise attack.
Yeah.
But I mean, I've never really been afraid of someone, although some of that's just young stupidity. You're not afraid. But at this point now, I know that my God is greater than any of that stuff.
Now listen,
So-
when my daughter was wailing on the door, trying to come in my house in the middle of the night, and I was just waking up and had no idea what was going on.
Yeah.
That showed me right there, I'm not ready.
Gotcha. Okay.
I am not as ready as I think I am.
Yeah.
I am not ready.
All right. Just call me and Brandon. We'll come over. and
No.
help. You don't want to call us?
No.
We want to be a part of the action.
You do? You want to see some stuff?
Yeah.
When you pull in the driveway, just start shooting into them double doors. They'll be locked in that room.
Yeah. I mean, we're talking silly, but it's not silly because it probably is going to happen. But when you've got companies putting stuff like this on the internet that they're going to eat other people's meat, other people's bodies.
Listen, they tell us in our movies.
This is real stuff.
They tell us in our movies.
Mm-hmm.
And what are zombies doing? They're eating other people.
Right.
Like, I would never believe that we are getting close to a period where people would eat other people consciously.
Right.
But I think we're there.
Yeah.
I think we're knocking on the door.
Right. And I would hate to say this too because people would say, "Oh, that's a conspiracy," but very wealthy people always find these delicacies in exotic things.
Yes, and think they're
and think that this could be one of those exotic things.
the super altruistic.
Like, I'd like to know what's it cost. Does it say what it costs to buy like so much of this? Like, what is a human foot? Say, for instance.
It's a foot. It's just gross.
It's up top. I
I'm
think.
trying to get there. Hold on.
Nutritional. It even gives nutritional facts. What? I don't get.
Register your choices
It's got to give some kind of a price list.
by age. Our donors. Click that.
Maybe it doesn't give a price. Ribs, right there. 100% human meat, human profile. Oh, it gives the age, diet unbalanced,
Lifestyle, lightly active.
Oh, that means there's more marbling, like Matt was talking about, right? Oh, an upper arm. Well, we don't get any price on this, though. See, look, they even have harvest dates. That was a year ago that was harvested, that upper arm.
Their diet, paleo.
Cooking time, 25 minutes in the pan or 55 to 60 minutes in the oven. You've got to be kidding
No,
me.
it's not right. It's just not right. It's like we're watching a terrible movie.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, that person's from Ecuador.
Oh, that's a brain.
Yes.
All right.
There's
Can
no
I
price.
not look
I
at
don't
that
know where the
anymore?
pricing is. Register your I don't know where you would get the prices. But,
Sign the church out.
yeah.
Yeah, you want me to...
Right. I wonder if it's more expensive if the person was more spiritual. Oh, that's just you can sell
donate yourself.
That's crazy. Well, I hope that people would be wise enough, but I'm thinking this is more for the elites.
Yep.
I don't think this is for the average person
Nope.
on the street
Nope.
wanting to eat meat.
Nope.
I would think this has to be for the
I
elites.
would even venture to say people in Chardon won't do this.
Yeah,
And, you know, they always pretend they're so elite.
that's true.
People from Chardon.
Chardon. Yeah. Where do you go to school? I go to Chardon.
My family eats human meat from the Human Meat Project.
Yeah. Our Walmart's nicer than your Walmart.
Yeah. I got leg of man. Tonight we're doing a leg of man on the grill.
Yeah, that's good. 25 minutes. Wonder how long you smoke it.
Soylent, yeah. Aunt Janine says Soylent Green in the 70s about people because of population being too big. Again, movies showing us where we're going to go.
Yeah. Oh, that was a movie, Soil in the Green?
Soylent Green with
Okay.
Charlton Heston.
Okay. All right.
And they would have bulldozers scoop up people and load them in dump trucks and take them away.
Wow.
Soylent Green is people.
Well, let me ask this
People
question.
are Soylent Green.
So how do we do? I mean, seriously, I know this is conspiracy, but you don't know what's in the meat you're buying in the grocery store.
No, you don't. No, you're
You
right.
have no clue
Right.
what's in that stuff.
I think that's why there's been a big move to buy meat locally. I'm gonna buy meat from somebody where I know where the auction cow is, and
You betcha.
you bet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely gonna buy that cow.
And then I feel pretty comfortable eating chicken. Humans don't look like chicken.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. But pork sausage, I mean,
Oh, any sausage? Who
it's
knows?
terrible.
Who knows?
Yeah. Did you notice though
Could
that
be horse in there.
Yeah, Kemp's is adding on. Did you see that? They're building.
Are they?
So
I didn't figure it would take long.
your beef and your sausage might be going up.
And they'll take, they're going to do cards and everything now.
Oh man, that means it's going to be expensive.
They're going to do cards? What is that?
Credit card. You can do credit card.
Oh, it's about time.
Yeah.
About time.
Yeah, I know. I always go in there with cash.
I don't. I give Melvin cash with his little wandering eyes, I'm afraid. Yeah. Melvin, I'm over here.
He's like, "Do you want your 10 cents back?"
Yeah, do you need that? Did you want all of this back?
I'll tell you what. I like their stuff though. It's good stuff.
So my cousin Brad, he's built a pretty good relationship with Rudy over there, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But even still, you know, he's Amish.
Uh-huh.
So he told my cousin he could ride his cow there, and then they would do the deal, and then he could watch him butcher it and stuff. But then always some kind of foible happens, and Melvin calls and goes, "Hey, Brad, we cut your cow." And Brad's like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, Rudy said he's gonna have me over. Oh, I didn't know. So he didn't kind of.
Oh, he wanted to watch it.
Yeah, Brad wanted to watch it. Rudy said we could do this, but I'm sure Rudy was like a busy man. He's like, I don't have time.
Yeah, right.
I don't have time for you to stare over me cutting this cow.
Right.
He did a good job. I mean,
Nice.
It was, and there's a lot of meat.
Yeah.
But
They still take that hammer gun to the head when they knock a cow out.
I would imagine.
That's
either that or they're shooting it.
Yeah.
But both are expensive.
Yeah. Wow.
But
Because he does all that, right? From
Yeah, he slaughters.
Yeah.
The only other place that I know of that slaughters is Mahan.
Oh, you don't want to go to
I
Mahan.
don't want to go to Mahan.
No. I'm pretty sure there are
We
dead
should
bodies.
start
in
online rumors right now.
there. Yeah, we should. Pretty sure there's people in there. That stuff.
They work with the Human Me Project. Start that with your friends and family.
All right. Well, Brandon, what was the other stuff you were talking about? You were talking about some of this. What's some other topics you wanted to talk about? I mean, do we have any other comments about the Human Meat Project?
No.
Everybody's pretty silent.
I can't. I figured there'd be more people today, but I don't think the half-hour delay helped.
Next thing you know, they'll be kidnapping people and putting them in there.
They probably already are.
Well,
but-
I mean, they had
All
all
the
those
missing
movies.
people
Yeah.
you see in Walmart, they're probably people
all
are eating
the
them.
lonely people.
Listen, they had those movies about the kidneys, like the organs, and they sell you the organs, but if you can't make the payments, they come and I think it was called The Repo Man.
Yeah, repossessed.
Oh, that was a movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there was another one called The Island, where these people figure out that they are cloned donor bodies for rich people out there, and they're on this island. So if the rich person out there needs something,
Yeah.
they grab one of their bodies and take what they need out of it.
Wasn't that robot thing I sent you wild? How they took the guy's conscious and put it into that robot?
Oh yeah, that's from
That
the movie
movie?
Chappie.
Yeah.
That's pretty wild.
That's
But that's what they want.
Yeah.
That's what the futurists want,
Yeah.
because that's how they believe they're going to live forever.
Right.
Yeah, that dude's body died. And it's,
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Everybody's wanting to live forever, but nobody wants Jesus, who says, "I am the life,
You
the
can
truth, and the
live
way."
forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nobody wants that.
No.
they want to live forever here.
Yeah.
So I watched the John
Dominate.
MacArthur. I watched the John MacArthur bit on the most offensive part of Christianity.
Okay.
The most offensive part of Christianity is that you're wicked.
Yeah.
No other religion teaches that you're wicked,
Uh-huh.
that you're the evil one.
Right.
But it's the thing that makes the most sense
Yeah.
and makes all of us equal.
Yeah.
We're all equal in our sin.
Yeah.
But anyway, if you can't grasp that, and you think somehow you're going to have a righteousness to work your way to heaven,
Right.
that's why no one wants to do Christianity.
Right.
Because they can't believe that they need a savior.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It was pretty awesome little message.
Yeah. No, it's good stuff. Just like I've been over helping with that trailer for that woman.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, that did nothing for my salvation.
Right.
Zero.
Right.
I mean, it did nothing. I mean, other than,
That's what we were trying to tell you.
you get to help.
Brian, this is not getting you into heaven.
Yeah. No, I mean, but you don't do it for that reason anyway.
Because you were going off
but-
on a Catholic bit there.
I was.
Yeah.
Please come and help.
Wait, what if I help with 3 trailers?
Yes.
Will that get me into heaven?
And donate $700.
Yes.
No, but that's the false thing though, that people think that they can somehow be good enough, and you can't.
No, you just can't. You can't do it.
You can't do enough good. You can't be good enough.
We're seeing in front of our faces the reality of man being wicked.
You might not even get in if you're good enough.
Well, you can't though.
No, I'm saying even living a good life.
Yeah,
Or
but
you're
even
not, no, you won't.
you won't. You have to know Jesus.
Right.
Yeah.
You have to put your trust in him. He's your only option.
Right.
What about people that know Jesus and
Well, I mean, that's between them and their heart and Jesus, yeah. But
We're
then
gonna get to one of my favorite subjects.
I know. But then the question is,
it's a narrow door.
are they serious about? Because see, here's the thing: you can know something, you can know information, but it's not just when the Bible talks about knowing, that word there means to experience. So there's a lot of people that know, but they don't have an experience. Like they're not following, they're not trusting, they're not experiencing the presence of God in their life, convicting them and speaking with them and leading them and guiding them. It's just a head knowledge, and they're like, okay, I'll try to do some good things, and it's a good idea.
And I would think they don't know.
Exactly. That's
the point. Yeah. And that's where so many people are today, because so many people that you talk to believe that they're good people. I'm a good person. Mm-hmm. They believe and you're a good person.
Yeah.
But they can't. The question posed by our youth on the square,
Right.
like, all right, so what about you is good?
Right. Yeah.
You can't answer.
No.
There's no answer.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and at the end of the day, like their question, it goes back to like when our youth were up in Burton. If there is no God, do your morals even matter?
That is a great one. But they will argue to the blue in the face,
Right.
that we've come up with these morals.
Right. Right.
We just know what is good.
Right.
It's impossible.
Right.
It's impossible.
Right.
If you starve an area, get ready to watch some horrific things.
Oh, sure.
I mean, it won't take long.
No.
And I really believe that's due here.
Oh, it doesn't take long. Like I don't. When was it? Was it during COVID or whatever it was? But people were at the gas pumps, and people were trying to get gas.
Yeah.
And the pumps were shutting down because it was too much on the system.
Yeah.
And people were getting fired up, man.
People were putting gas in plastic bags.
What?
Oh yeah.
Did you see that on YouTube? There were women trying to pump it into grocery bags.
And it's just melting out the bottom.
Yeah, like it would melt some of them. Some of them would hold, and they'd tie them.
Paper bags too.
I don't know about paper bags.
Lined with tinfoil. That would work. You line them with the tinfoil.
Well, and you use what was that guy on TV with that tape?
Oh, Flex Seal.
Flex Seal. Yeah.
Oh, well, that would probably work.
You spray some Flex Seal in there. You got yourself a bladder.
Yeah. It's a good idea.
That stuff don't work.
That Flex
I've
Seal?
used it.
I was gonna say I
It
used
does stuff.
Well, it does. Yeah, it'll do something.
Yeah.
So I bought a dehumidifier from Amazon. I didn't feel like sending it back because it had a crack in the pan. I sprayed the inside and the outside with Flex Seal. 3 years now.
Really?
Hasn't leaked.
You know what else would work really good?
What?
99-cent super glue.
I don't know.
I don't know.
This Flex
It
Seal's
wouldn't look
pretty
as good either.
No.
You wouldn't even see it.
It would look like you just fixed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Matter of fact, you know how you seal your bathroom, right? You just spray with Flex Seal.
Did that guy do something to you?
No. No.
Why are you hating?
He's dead now? Or no, that's the guy from...
Oh, that's Billy Mays.
Billy Mays. That's
Yeah.
Billy Mays. He gone.
Did you ever see the Billy Mays spoofs?
Yeah. There's some good ones.
Are they bad?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so Brandon, what else you got on your list there for the show today? Because we want to make sure we hit all these things.
I think maybe we could talk about mental health and laziness.
Okay, yeah, you put that in there. Were you trying to imply that myself or maybe Matt are lazy?
I think he was talking about Matt.
No, I think we're all lazy.
I'm lazy.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you say mental health and laziness, today in our culture, you see some kind of a malaise across people's lives, like where they're just kind of hanging out and existing, and they don't want to do nothing, or what do you?
Yeah, well, there's a pill for everything.
Okay.
I don't feel love. There's a pill for it.
Okay.
I'm depressed. There's a pill for it.
Okay.
And what I've been finding out is motivation. I don't know if I believe in motivation no more. I think it's discipline is what drives somebody.
Okay.
Motivation's just a whatever. You gotta have discipline to get somewhere. You know.
Okay.
Like to stay in this, I stay disciplined. I read it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Because if you wait to get motivated, you may not happen.
Ain't gonna happen.
It won't happen.
It won't happen.
Yeah.
That's a good thought.
That's a good point.
Yep. It's or disciplines with everything.
Yeah.
It's work. Getting out of bed.
Uh-huh.
Reading this. You know.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So mentally, then people are
I think
unhealthy because they're not disciplined.
correct.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. And then that makes you lazy. If you don't get up and do it, do your chores, you're this, you're that, you're going to become lazy and not disciplined.
What happens when you just turn 44 and you're like,
Well,
I don't know.
yeah.
I don't know. Because I'm not there yet.
yeah.
Couldn't tell you.
Because I feel like I turned a corner of having a drive to do something.
Oh, yeah. I'm disciplined in areas and I still fail.
Yeah. But I mean, I used to get out the pressure washer, wash my house. I don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
Like I would be like, I'm gonna pressure wash my house today.
Yeah, no.
That's gone. I'm like, who cares?
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, is it?
I would do that, like for that example, I would still do that because the value's there.
Right.
You know,
No,
to me.
I know I'm being lazy,
Yeah. Yeah.
but I'm really asking, like, what does it matter?
Right. That's just like,
And then you know what gets me then? What am I filling my time with then? And usually it's nothing.
yeah,
So
yeah.
why don't you go ahead and pressure wash your house?
Yeah, that's what I think, yeah.
Right. No, that's how I end up doing things.
That's not good.
I used to not have the problem. Now I'm just like
Energy's a big deal.
I'm a buttercup just sitting around. But, yeah, like I'm a scoop of ice cream waiting.
Well, just for me to throw this in to the mix is that this year getting the wood burner has really not motivated me, but encouraged me to, you got to get the wood, you got to move it from place to place, you got to bring it in the house, you got to load the. I feel
Takes discipline.
It's
it does,
fun.
and I feel alive.
But I've had a wood burner. Listen, I've had a wood burner for 10 years.
Okay.
No, 12 years now. And I've hand split all my firewood when I first got it. Loved it. Just,
I don't care for that.
I do.
Dude, I like
that.
I could go do it for a couple hours.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. And then it was just like, well, I mean, that takes up a lot of time, so I'm getting it delivered split. Then I'm getting it delivered split close to the porch, so then I'm just putting it on the porch. Now I'm like, why am I loading all this wood on the porch? It makes a big wood mess.
Yeah.
So now I have it back in my barn, and then I bring up what I need when I need it.
Right.
So that I still have my porch room, but really it's because I'm lazy and didn't want to stack all that wood at once.
Yeah.
And I had the chimney cleaned. And then we don't burn a fire all the time because, like, I found out that the furnace keeps my back bedroom where I sleep
Yeah.
nice and even and warm. And so I'm like, well, I kind of want to run the furnace at night so
Okay.
that my room stays warm.
Yeah.
We would burn that stove, and that would be, like, our goal was to leave the furnace off.
Yeah.
If the furnace was running, then the fire wasn't hot enough.
Right.
To now, let's keep that fire down a little bit so that furnace will run once in a while and kind of circulate the air. Because I can afford it now.
Yeah.
Here, I guess this is a big part of the
I
thing
shut
now
mine
too.
off. Like
Your furnace, you shut it off.
yeah, I used to set it like if it gets below 55 or something.
Yeah.
But we're pretty good about. We figured out our stove pretty good where we can
Keep
kinda
it
leave,
even.
Yeah, leave all day.
Yeah.
Throw the dampener on,
Yeah.
and it'd be good.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we have that,
Yeah.
but my room where I sleep is cut off from the house,
Right.
so there's no airflow. so it gets cold, especially like today where it's 50-mile-an-hour winds.
Yeah.
It's just coming through the wall.
You need to put a separate thermostat in your room and one thing that runs to it. Just run that.
Or
Shut everything off.
get a wood stove for my bedroom.
Oh, that'd be nice.
I would do
Get one
one
of
of
them
those
little- get one of
55-gallon
them
barrels.
Right?
Or get one of them little tiny house wood stoves that you see floating around. They're like this.
Do you have
big.
any idea how hard it is to keep those things full?
Well, yeah.
They're
probably-
not airtight.
Yeah, I
So
know.
that stuff burns up like a piece of paper.
Yeah.
Ugh, that just multiplied my problem.
Yeah, that's true.
Little Eden pair. Those things are decent.
Yeah, those are cool. I actually had the one that looked like a fireplace,
Yeah.
but
Neither one of you guys went and bought the bricks.
Not yet, but I will get a couple pallets of them next year.
Yeah.
Just to have on
I
hand.
usually
They'll be cheaper in the spring.
Yeah.
I buy about 20 packs at a time.
Okay.
And again, just because it's easier to store 20.
Right.
We use them to start the fire.
Okay.
You stack them up like
Right.
2 and 2.
Yeah.
Get them sizzling, and then you throw your wood on top, and
Yeah.
then it's no brainer.
Well, I told Brandon yesterday we left to go to Mount Vernon around 11. We were gone 9 hours, and I packed the stove tight and turned the damper down. And when we came home, it was about 68 in the house, and we had hot coals in there. That's a 9-hour burn.
Yeah,
That's a good
that's
burn.
pretty average.
Yeah?
Yeah, wood stove should be able to do that.
Okay.
Yeah, because you got to figure you want that to last about 8 hours for a night.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm kind of, I'm having fun with it.
It's fun.
But I also
I remember when we first had ours, it's a trip. It's a great time.
Yeah. So here's my mental thinking though. When I go out to get the wood and I bring in an armload of wood into the house, the next time I go out, I put the armload in my right hand because I want my biceps
Oh, you want evenly
to be the
built
same
up.
size.
I see.
See how you do that?
And you appreciate heat.
You do appreciate heat.
'Cause
You're
you're
right.
going and fetching it.
You're right.
I'm starting to make my kids do everything.
I do have Brian and Nathan help a little bit. And they're pretty good about keeping it running when we're gone.
Because I want them to have all the memories that I have.
That's good.
My dad would make us go get wood. We had to wash the dishes.
Matt, you have a Christina on here. It's your wife's sister.
Okay.
Does that sound right?
Yeah. Hi, Tina.
Okay. Not. Oh yeah, you call her Tina.
Yeah.
It says Christina, so that's why I call her Christina. And your dad quoted or put Proverbs 26.
Well, I have not seen these comments.
I just pulled them up. As a dog returneth to its vomit, so a fool returneth to his folly.
I think my dad just likes to say some of these things out loud.
Yeah.
What does that have? Does that have something to do with what we're talking about?
Probably back when we were talking about the meat thing, maybe.
You think? I think he just thinks some of these things are cool.
Yeah. Is that the
He
one?
liked the Powder Dry song last
Oh,
week.
gotcha.
Like,
Okay.
it's cowboy stuff.
Well, listen, Mr. Wilson. This just because this is the only Bible verse you know, you can't just put this on there.
No. He knows a lot of
I
them.
know. I'm just joking.
His other really favorite one is "The Narrow Is the Way."
That's a good one.
But I think he uses it like, "I'm going to heaven and you're not." You know what I mean? And sometimes I worry he wants to yell from the center of the road, like, "Look where I'm at, you losers! I told you it'd be hard." I don't see the comments.
And well, I got him here. Are you on the Black Channel? Like, did you pull up?
Yeah, it should be right here.
He also said, 12 seest thou a man wise in his own conceit. There is more hope of a fool than for him. So, yeah.
25% off everything in Great Lakes today. Might be a time to pick up that pattern.
I don't know, 350 bones.
Well, the Winchester, they had a couple. It was 36 for the pounders.
Yeah, the HP 38s.
That might not be bad.
Oh, yeah. Are you thinking about running over there in a snowstorm?
Probably.
I got to go to Giant Eagle. Did Judy make it into work today?
Like Giant Eagle?
Yeah.
I don't know. She probably did. She would have left early this morning.
I need to go get some mixer.
I'll tell you something after.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not for the road.
Yeah, so $29 for a pounder. That ain't bad.
No. That's
Said and done.
That's last year's prices.
Yeah, we'll go grab a couple of them.
I'll get a couple.
Yeah.
What do I do with them? Throw them at people?
No.
Well, we can talk about that off the air, too. We don't need the ATF busting down the door of our church.
Yeah, knocking with their foot.
Yeah.
So, Brandon, I think that you just need to stay disciplined, and then you'll be the only one.
Just Brandon?
You'll be the only one that's probably disciplined.
Well, and Al Wilson.
No.
And Alan Wilson.
You guys will both be in the center of the narrow gateway going, come on, pick up the pace, idiots.
Yeah.
Narrow is this door.
You should have planned for this a long time ago.
Yeah, like I did. I'm not proud.
There'll probably be people like that. And they'll be like this, and Jesus will blur out their middle finger.
Yeah, it might be true.
And he'll be like, he
Oh, my-
barely got in here.
Yeah.
Oh, my child.
And listen, you keep that up, I'm cutting it off.
Yep.
Yeah.
You enter into life without a middle finger. No, I think there is something to be said, though, for our culture. Because our culture is lazy and because our culture does not work for anything, not only do are they unappreciative of the things that we have, but they also, I think, like you, mentally, their health is going, they're depressed because nothing satisfies them. Mm-hmm. They can't find anything. And then we tell them something like Jesus is satisfies, but then they realize, oh, I've got to exercise faith. And even exercising faith in Jesus is almost too much for people today.
Yeah.
Because faith is something that, it's not just an intellectual assent, it's actually something you do.
If you don't stay disciplined in this, you won't find it.
Right, no.
Yeah.
You're exactly
It's just
right.
another
Right.
book.
I just shared the gospel with someone this past week and was trying to help them understand. They're like, well, how do I do this? How do I get this relationship? I'm like, you got to start right there. You got to start letting God speak to you from his word.
People like that, you just want to smack upside the face.
Like when they're, you mean like,
How do you
let's
do
say-
it? You read it. You keep reading it.
Yeah.
And when you don't want to read it, you read it.
Right.
Well, kind of like
And if you're
When-
feeling lazy that day and you don't
when
want
they
to
sign
read
up
it, you
with
read
the-
it.
Read it. Read it.
when they sign up with the Masons, even though you're like, don't do it. You know, that guy.
Yeah. That guy.
And you're like, yeah, don't do it.
No, listen, we're trying to tell you what to do. Yeah, but I thought it would be fun
Yeah.
to
Was
join
for
a
a
cult.
short time.
Was it?
No.
As someone would say that.
But yeah, you're right. But the end of the day, people have to ultimately, you have, like I told this person, I said, listen, I can't believe for you. You have to do it. There's no other way. I can't read for you. I can't believe for you. You have to do it.
I can, however, spend your money for you. So if you want me to manage that, let
Right.
me know.
Or I could eat your upper arm.
It's very easy to spend other people's money.
Right.
And people that sit there and saturate their mind with their thoughts and become even more depressed,
Right.
that's when it gets scary.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Then you'll start getting suicidal thoughts, this or that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yep. All kinds of fears and anxieties.
All kinds.
You play the what if game over
what
and
if?
over again.
What if?
Yeah.
And I've been down every road.
Yeah.
Every road there.
Yep.
And I'm not ashamed to say that.
Yep.
But if you stay disciplined in this, it'll get your mind out of that.
Yep. Yeah. And that word is what Hebrews 4 says. It is sharper than any two-edged sword. It divides soul and spirit, bone and marrow, and judges the intentions of the heart. It is a living and active word. It's God speaking to us. And so when you read that, there is a conversation that is happening with your spirit that you don't fully comprehend, but it's happening. It's not like any other book. It's not like reading the newspaper or the Chronicles of Narnia or, another book that was written by Francis Chan or something, It's not like that.
Yep.
This is different. Like I'm reading the book of Numbers right now, and most people are like, Numbers? I've never read Numbers, and it's boring.
I
I'm
heard
reading
that-
Numbers, and I'm like, oh,
Well, I think a lot of Jews read it.
I'm
Because
telling
they
you,
only have 5 books to
there's
read.
good stuff in it.
I heard that Numbers, I haven't read Numbers yet, but I heard it's one of the most scariest books.
Numbers?
Numbers.
I mean, well, yeah, because he pretty much tells the people you're not going to enter the promised land and you're going to wander now and you're going to die because of your unbelief. But that's the interesting thing about that. God was so gracious and so merciful to them and so patient. There's so many interesting things in there. I was just reading in Numbers, I think it was 14 the other day, where Moses is like, God, you can't do this, because then the Egyptians are going to say that you brought them out of Egypt for nothing. And God, and then Moses goes, but you're a God who's slow to anger, abound in loving kindness. So that's who you are. And God's like, okay, fine. I'm not going to kill them, but they're not going into the promised land.
Yeah.
They're not going to experience the promised land now.
You don't think Jesus and God, even though they're the same thing, had a little bit of different attitude here and there?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
No?
No.
No. They know what's up because they're God.
Yeah.
So they're all knowing.
That one I sent you or showed you the other night when we were doing drywall about him, God telling him, don't even worry, don't even pray for those people.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Well, even Jesus, the New Testament disciples, if they'd go into a town and the people would not believe, they were told to wipe the dust off their shoes and leave. And literally it was on them if they didn't want to hear. So Jesus is the same. Like some people say Jesus is a different,
Yeah, I can see where I get confused with that, being new.
Yeah.
Just, I haven't been in the Old Testament much at all.
Yeah.
Jesus seems a little softer in his fleshly form, or God, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and part of that is because most people read the New Testament more than they read the Old Testament.
Right, and I haven't been in the Old Testament at
And
all.
Yeah, and if you read the Old Testament, most people just recall that God poured out wrath on Sodom and Gomorrah,
Right.
and that he did this. But you don't read the hundreds of years before that he was patiently waiting for Sodom and
Hey,
Gomorrah
I would
to turn
not.
back.
I would not have wanted to have been an Old Testament human being.
No, I wouldn't either.
Because really, the only way you knew about God was if he talked to you, or if you. Do you think it was God talking to the people? This goes back to Calvinism. God picked the people, like Abraham. You are going to lead a great nation, or was Abraham like, there's got to be something else up there? And then he's like, "Oh, I'm glad you said something. Here I am."
Yeah.
Which way did it go?
I don't know. Doesn't say. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Or was it through verbal or oral tradition?
Well, a lot, yeah.
Because Noah, like Adam and Eve knew God. Noah then knew God.
Right.
Passed it through the 10 tribes.
Right.
So, was it just like story? Was it like Neo with the ship and the...
Huh?
I'm trying to talk about a way of belief. I'm trying to cite a movie that I normally would know the name of, and I can't think of it. It was in 1999. It had the green screen with the pixels, and they went into the computer.
Matrix?
Yes, Matrix. When you listen to Morpheus talk about the belief, it's almost like he believes in this old wisdom fairy tale
Yeah.
that everybody else has dismissed because they're scientific.
Okay.
It's what's going on right now. It's what's happening right now.
Yeah.
Us three are talking about the old knowledge, the old wisdom, the old story,
Right.
the savior. When most modern people are like, we've got this, computers do everything, soon we're going to merge with machines, and da-da-da-da-da.
Right.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so, was that Abraham? Everybody else was a doubter, an unbeliever. And there were few people that took the old tradition with them
Yeah.
from Noah. And
I think so. When you read through, especially early Genesis, Genesis chapter 5.
why did the whole nation cry out for a king?
Right.
When in their oral traditions, God always warned against
Right.
and said, "I am your provider."
Right. And the only person that was up for this with God continuing the leadership was Samuel.
Yeah.
And God's like, Samuel, I understand this, but give them what they want.
Right.
Give them a king,
Yeah.
and they'll see. They're going to pay.
See, I don't know. I know that has to do with the kings and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know what scripture it is. Is that good or bad?
It's not necessarily bad, but I think the more you know,
the more specific I can get. Yeah.
Because again, see, once you get in there and you start meditating, you don't know like just facts. You start to know the God who was
So you're saying
dealing
I don't know
with
the
these
God
people.
because I don't know the numbers?
Well, you just know him more intimately.
You think?
Oh yeah. Because I'm telling you, man, people will always come to me and they'll be like, the God of the Old Testament, he was so wrathful. I'm like, no, he wasn't. He was gracious. He was kind. He was merciful.
Yeah, but he still had some wrath in him.
Well, so does Jesus.
Yeah.
Jesus is coming back, and when Jesus comes back, he will judge the living and the dead.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah.
Well, I know that, John talks about God being the Word. Right. And I know it's John 1:1.
Right.
But I don't know where 3 starts. But I know that whole part right there where he's laying out the God of the beginning of the Bible and the God of the middle of the Bible are the same God.
Yep. Yep.
And you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know because I don't.
Yeah. And John.
I don't remember the camp specs of my 400 engine in my Chevelle from when I was 23.
Yeah. Right. Right.
Should I?
Yeah.
Probably.
Well, probably. It'd be a good idea.
I do know that narrow is the way and wide is the path.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if you want to know if you're going to make it, you should see Al Wilson there. So,
You should.
yeah,
He'll be there.
he'll be there.
He needs to comment though. We better not have offended him. We were just joking.
He's going to give you a handshake.
Huh? Okay.
He's going to give
Yeah.
Welcome.
All who prey upon you, I will give for prey.
Yeah. That's the whole idea. Like God will go, okay, if this nation, I'm going to use this nation to judge my people, but then because this nation won't turn to me, they'll ultimately be judged then by my people. So God uses any, source to bring judgment or wrath. So you might end up being the prey.
But now it's global.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
is.
you might be ended up swallowed up.
Yeah, you might be the prey.
But now it's global.
It is.
It's all of us.
Yeah, yeah. So, being the Old Testament, David Miller said that God's presence is made known through creation. So, Romans chapter 1 talks about the idea of creation, people knowing God through creation, and therefore they do not have an excuse for why they don't believe. But then David also makes a comment. He says the Old Testament people were made aware through their surroundings. I think I understand what he's saying there. I would suggest this, though, that in the Old Testament, it is quite clear that God spoke through the prophets. God spoke through his word through the prophets. So the Old Testament people were not left to just believe in God because of their surroundings. They actually were spoken to and they were given a word. So even like Abraham, he was spoken directly to by God and told to go, so he was in relationship with God. And then ultimately, then when you get out of Genesis and you get into the time of the prophets, then God was speaking to the Old Testament people through the prophets, and he gave them the law through Moses. So God's word has always been an established part of his people. He has always spoken, whether it's oral tradition, whether it's written. It's always been the spoken word is how God has communicated with his people. Yeah. David said, yeah, that too. Yeah. So.
You will believe just because you are here. And that has to do with his spirit being here.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. His presence.
I still would not want to have been an Old Testament person.
No, I wouldn't either. That'd have been some tough living right there.
Because at least now, Stephen Fuderick and Rick Warren,
Got time.
they can let us know that there's a Jesus.
Yeah, they can.
Right?
You're right. You're right.
We see him on TV, Billy Graham.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And at this point, too, Stephen Fuderick and Rick Warren, they have time to get things right.
Well, I'm not worried about them.
Oh, okay.
They can worry about their own salvation.
No, I agree.
My point more or less is I really think down to the homeless people in this country have heard about Jesus.
Yeah.
It seems like to me everybody in this country knows about Jesus. And they've made their choice
Yeah.
in a lot of ways.
Yeah, I think so.
Jeremiah 29:11. For I know the plans that I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans of welfare and not for calamity. How do you say that?
Calamity.
Calamity. To give you a future and a hope.
People, that's the verse that a lot of people claim as their life verse because it sounds so good. Like God doesn't want bad stuff for your life. He wants good stuff. The problem, the context. Go ahead.
Then you will call upon me.
Go ahead. Yeah.
And when you search for me with all your heart,
right,
I will be found. I will be found by you, declares the Lord, and I will restore your fortunes, and will gather you from all the nations and from all the places where I have driven you, declares the Lord.
That's why it's so important to read all the Scripture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was getting there.
Yeah. No, that's good stuff. Yeah. I mean, people want to believe that God has good stuff for them, but they want to live their own life, and they want God to give them the good stuff they want, as opposed to making God king.
Well, he's in a better place now.
Yeah. Not so sure.
Not so sure.
It's debatable. Real quick before we get through this, because I just want to throw this out. But tonight, if we do end up having service, which I think we're planning to, as long as anybody that wants to come out, maybe want to come out. But we'll see what the weather looks like here. We'll try to make a decision in the next couple hours. But tonight, my message or the devotional time is about God with us. Mm-hmm. You know, the whole Emmanuel thing. Mm-hmm. There's never been a time where he hasn't been with us.
Right.
And so I'm going to just walk real quick through like just Genesis, like just a couple spots in Genesis, and then I'm going to come into the New Testament, and then I'm going to look into the future. There is coming a time when he will not be with us.
I know.
You will either choose to be with him or you will not be with him. And that's really the message of Christmas. He came so that you could be with him. He came to be with you so that you could be with him, but you still have to choose whether you want that.
Right.
And that's what Christmas is really about. It's about a God who came down.
And all you have to do is admit that you are a sinner.
Yeah.
That you cannot do it on your own.
And turn, turn or burn. That's the old saying. But
be disciplined.
You really do. The word repentance means to change your mind or change your direction. So, like some people go, yeah, I'm really messed up, blanker, or whatever. And you could admit that you're a pretty bad person, but you still have to choose to accept Christ to be your king and your savior.
Sure.
So yeah, but you're right. Part of the big battle, the tripping stone, is admitting that you're a sinner.
Do you have any more comments? Because I don't see any.
David Miller said that God speaks directly to people via the conscience. I would agree with that. The problem is that if that not the problem, I would say the challenge to that is that
will you listen to it?
Not only will you listen, but how do you know that that's?
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that hear God speaking, like put your baby in a microwave.
Right,
God told me to do that.
You're gonna want to load your family in a minivan and drive it in a lake.
Yeah, right.
If you cry one more time, I will drive us off the mountain.
Yeah. Or as Tim Hawkins says, someone will get up and say, this lady will be like, God gave me this song. And then she sings this song, and you're like, well, maybe you should give it back.
That's good stuff.
But yeah, I agree. God does speak to the conscience. He speaks to our heart and our soul directly to us.
You have to know to listen.
Yeah, you do. And I think
discern.
I think that's why the word is important.
Yeah.
Because the God who spoke the word,
right.
He's not going to contradict himself when he speaks to you.
Right.
Yeah.
Another reason why we can believe in the Bible that we have, even though it's been through several interpretations over time.
Right.
Is it lines up with what we know in our hearts is truth.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, it does.
And it's easier and easier to see in a world that's increasingly not making sense.
Right. It's so interesting. Like, I've thought about this forever. Like, I just want to walk up to people and go, tell me one thing Jesus did that you dislike.
Right.
That he did that was, a bad thing. Well, nothing.
But why is it so important for the socialist, the LGBTQ crowd, any crowd who otherwise does not follow the virtues of Christ?
Yeah.
have to beat his message into fitting their message?
Uh-huh.
Why do they spend so much time saying, well, Jesus obviously was a socialist.
Right.
He didn't have a house and he ran around and gave people stuff.
Right. Right.
Well, that doesn't make him a socialist.
No. Right.
Right?
Right.
But you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, why would you waste your time then?
Yeah.
Because usually those people don't believe in Christ.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're spending so much time trying to make Christ somebody he wasn't meant to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
You don't try and make the Dalai Lama somebody he wasn't trying to be.
Right. Right.
They don't make Muhammad somebody he wasn't trying to be.
Yep.
They spend their time on Christ.
Yep. Yeah.
It's kind of like the alien thing.
Yeah.
They always come against Christ.
Yep. Yeah, he is the crux of the whole
Yes.
religious situation.
Yes.
Yeah, he's the problem. David Miller says, just saying no prophet was required, like in certain times there was, not a prophet required. And yeah, I mean, point well taken. But even in the New Testament, like when Jesus left, he said, you will be my witnesses.
There was no profit required, but you better not lose any money.
That's
You should
true.
at least break even.
You should.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's what I always say.
Yeah. That because I like to tell people too, the Bible for other people should be able to be read through your life. Like, if people never pick up that book and they have interaction with me, they should see that book all over me. They should see God's word, his hidden word in me, living it out. And hopefully that will lead them to say, hey, I want to know this God and I want to get into that word, because I'm supposed to be his witness.
Right.
So, witnessing that point. So, yeah, I mean, if I was on a desert island and all I had was a volleyball. All I had was a volleyball. I mean, God could speak to me.
Yeah.
And he would, just whether or not I want to listen.
Right.
So, one last thing before we get off air, Brandon. You just wanted to talk a little bit about whether or not the Christmas tree or some of these things that we do are pagan.
Sure.
Huh?
Sure. I don't know a lot about it, so.
Matt, have you concluded anything, or you're just doing it? You're just going pedal to the metal?
I like Christmas trees.
Okay. Because we had this discussion a few years back.
Yeah. My wife was a non-Christmas tree person, but I've always been a Christmas tree person. And I don't really care if it's pagan or if Martin Luther made it.
Yeah.
I don't worship it.
Right.
I don't make my kids get out of bed and pray to it.
Uh-huh.
And it is a symbol for this time of year,
Right.
for the gift giving and the love and the sharing and the reminder, from the ornament with the manger on it to the nativity scenes to, all the things that people probably could argue we're not supposed to have because they're vain images of God and
Right.
so on and so on. It is, for whatever, into our culture.
Yeah.
I don't need Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need pumpkins or scary skeletons or.
Right.
I mean, no profit comes to my soul from Halloween.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
But a time of season spent thinking about the birth of the Savior, who is going to redeem all of mankind. How can that hurt me?
Yeah.
If that's what I make it about.
Right.
So if that means I got a Christmas tree because that's when I was born. That's what we were doing.
Right.
And I was kind of thinking about it today in the shower because I knew we were going to talk about it. And I'm like, but what does the Christmas tree really mean to me? And what it really means, I guess, to me is a marker of a happy time in life, from my mom decorating it when we were younger and yelling at us to get away, don't touch that stuff, to, having my own house and my own family and so on and so on. And it's so weird. Does it feel like Christmas to you this year?
No.
Does it feel like Christmas to you this year?
Mm-mm.
I've talked to more people that for whatever reason, this year does not feel like Christmas
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
And I don't know what that is. I think that's a bigger something than should we have a Christmas tree or not.
Right.
Because I do think that we spend a lot of time on, what do I want to call it? I don't know, rituals or traditions But I don't necessarily think those things are bad.
Right.
I know if you worship them, if they become your god, that's not good.
Right.
But at the same time, I think those things used to help slow time down and make you pay attention. It put your heart in a place to focus your time on that message.
Right.
But for whatever reason, this year it's not working. Yeah. I know that's a splinter topic. But I even was just talking to my aunt and uncle last night, and they're like, it doesn't feel Christmassy this year. Yeah. So, Christmas tree, you want to have it? Knock yourself out.
Yeah. I mean, we just have one of those small penciled trees with lights, and we just decided to put that up because there wasn't room to put our bigger tree up. But to me,
Is it real?
No, it's fake.
Oh.
But it's just a pre-lit thing, and it's just sitting in the corner. But to me, the Christmas tree has never been like, I've never looked at it as, I worship that, or it's
right.
It's just a decoration.
Exactly.
At Christmas time. But I'm just going to read to you the Encyclopedia Britannica. So here's part of the issue today, especially, is that people tend to go back and they find historical references, and then they twist them, and then they speak as if it's fact, when in reality it's not fact. Just like the Zeitgeist movie back in 2010 or something like that, or maybe 2005.
12.
Was it 12?
Yeah.
So the Zeitgeist movie was all about these different gods that supposedly had these stories, the same as Jesus, of a virgin birth, a death, and a resurrection. And when you go back, and I did that.
Well, what was brilliant about the Zeitgeist movie was all those things are true.
Right.
But they did it in a reverse order.
Right.
If you go in the right order, all those things were copied of the correct story.
Well, I hear what you're saying, yeah.
But if you go backwards,
right.
you make it. You can make the case
right.
that proves, well, that's the same thing that's always been going on. So the story of Christ is also fiction. Right. That's how I looked at Zeitgeist.
Right. And when you say true, some of the elements are true, but the guy really inflated what was being said, because I went back and I studied the actual history of all that, and I did a whole series on that. And every single one of those, like Mithra, he was born out of a rock.
Yeah,
that has nothing to do with virgin birth, but he's calling it a virgin birth. Yeah, he just says Mithra was born.
No,
of a virgin
they were more loosely hung.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And so, so those kind of things were just messed up. Like supposedly Buddha was a virgin birth, when in fact supposedly his mom, who was actually married, so therefore she wasn't a virgin. Number one,
right.
But number two, an elephant came and visited her, and one of his 7 tusks entered her, and she conceived. Well, that's not.
Doesn't that also have to do with the spirit snake? Something
that's
about
probably Hinduism
and the giant spirit snake.
Yep.
Yeah. So listen, it's crazy.
Yeah. So here, just let me read just a little bit of history about the Thor, because you were talking about the whole Thor thing, I think, downstairs maybe. But listen to this. Trees have been used. This is Encyclopedia Britannica. Trees have been used in rituals and as decorations since ancient times, thus making the source of the modern Christmas tree open to debate. However, many believe that it originated in Germany. It's claimed that in Germany, about 723, the English missionary Saint Boniface encountered pagans preparing a sacrifice at an oak tree dedicated to the god Thor. Boniface took an axe to the tree, and when not struck down by their god, he proclaimed to the awed pagans that a nearby evergreen was their holy tree. Other sources report that a fir grew on the site of the fallen oak. So when the fallen oak, then a fir tree was grown there. Whether the tale is true or not, evergreen trees became part of the Christian rites in Germany, and in the Middle Ages, paradise trees began to appear there, meant to represent the Garden of Eden. And then, of course, later on, you have the story of Martin Luther, who was coming home from like a revival or a church meeting, was looking through the evergreen forest and saw the sparkling of the snow. Some people say, I've read that he saw the stars, and it looked like lights on the tree. So he went home and hung candles on it. He put a tree in his house and hung candles on it.
Safe.
Very safe.
Very safe.
Yeah. So that's kind of where the Christian idea of the Christmas tree came from.
But you got to figure out where the tree came before that.
Yeah, but ultimately the tree came from God. He planted it.
Right. But
so
how was that symbol being used before?
Right.
It came into Christmas.
But so my theory is this. Then you look at the Bible and you look at Paul. Paul told the Corinthian people, listen, if you want to eat meat that was offered up to pagan gods, eat it. But if it bothers your brother and it's going to cause him to sin, and it's going to cause him to
Don't
be
do
weak, then don't do it.
Right.
So that obviously is a pagan meat. It was offered up to pagan gods,
Yep.
but Paul said, go ahead and eat it. So to me, I'm like, go ahead and have a Christmas tree. Don't be putting a Christmas tree up, though, and worshiping in it.
Yeah.
And don't be using it as a way to lead your brother astray. But apart from that, who cares?
Right.
That's my thought.
That's pretty logical.
But I get the pagan stuff too. I mean, I know people are concerned about that. But
well, it's like anything else. If that is your conviction, then so be it.
right. Yeah.
I'm not gonna.
No. If you don't want to have a Christmas tree, don't have a Christmas.
Don't have a
tree.
Christmas tree.
Yeah.
There's Christians who celebrate Halloween.
Yeah.
I mean,
Christina said trees are a traditional seasonal symbol.
yeah,
They're everywhere. Every season, trees are out there. Mm-hmm. They're growing.
they're growing. The trees are among us.
Yeah. And in the Chronicles of Narnia, the trees actually come alive and help them fight that last battle, if you remember. The root
There's
system.
also the ring, Lord of the Rings.
Oh.
The trees.
Oh. Well, yeah, that would be. So, do you think C.S. Lewis copied or stole some stuff from what's his face, Tolkien? Or do you think C.S. Lewis was legit, like he was the man? Because everybody's all about C.S. Lewis, but Tolkien was like a mentor to C.S. Lewis. So do you think C.S. Lewis got a lot of that strange idea stuff from Tolkien, or do you think C.S. Lewis was a mastermind in that?
I think they're both good.
Yeah, I mean, this will be sacrilege, but I think Gene Roddenberry is just as fun as who's the guy that did Star Wars?
Steven Spielberg?
Yeah, no, he made the movies, but the crap. Me not remembering names is really starting to become a problem.
You better start taking avocado oil.
Avocado
It's good
oil.
for your brain.
All right.
Especially when someone wants to eat it one day.
You're right. And when I want to use it for Human Meat Project, good thinking.
Yeah.
No, the other bearded guy with the curly hair, Skywalker Ranch,
I know who you're talking about now. George Knapp.
George Lucas.
George Lucas.
Okay. So Gene Roddenberry and George Lucas, about the same time, make different shows about space.
Okay.
You're gonna have elements that are similar,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You're gonna have robots.
Yeah.
You're gonna have laser guns.
Right.
You're gonna have stars.
Right.
Hyperdrives.
Yeah.
So, did one copy another? No, I just think it's a logical conclusion about where our minds. A lot of things that point to we have a common creator
Yeah.
as a human being,
Right.
to animals, to our connection to the universe.
Mm-hmm.
They actually proved we have a creator,
Right.
but we think similarly.
Right.
So I think same thing with C.S. Lewis and Tolkien. Like me and you sitting here talking about time travel,
Right.
and we write time travel books because you and I have talked. We may have similar elements or talking points, but we may come to different conclusions in our book.
Sure. Right.
That's all.
That
That's
makes
what I
sense.
think.
Makes good sense. All right. David confirmed it was George Lucas.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So we were on that. I think.
Can
these
you
things-
ask David? David, do you guys eat meat from humans in Chardon? Because you're elitist. I'm just wondering. Are you familiar with the Human Meat Project?
David will be like, "Yes, I just signed up last week."
I only buy ring fingers. They're tasty little bits. All right. So we Merry Christmas and
Yeah, I think so. Make sure to check the website because we were kicked off YouTube a year or so ago, and so we don't have any other media site. So this is a good way. Like if you go to our website, you can find out information about what we're doing.
Sure.
And you'll find out whether or not it's been canceled this evening, the Christmas Eve service. However, if the weather kind of stays decent and the roads are somewhat, we'll probably go ahead and have it. But I would say you have to use your own discretion. If your car's not the best in the snow and you don't feel you want to come out, or if you're older and you might struggle walking on stuff, then don't test it. But if you want to be here, then please come, be a part of it.
I think very little will be here.
I agree with you. Are you still gonna bring a crock pot?
Probably not.
Okay.
So what are we gonna eat?
What are we gonna eat?
I was hoping you'd bring a carton of cigarettes. We just smoke.
I can make some extra.
Okay.
Can we have a smoking whiskey party for Christmas?
Absolutely.
How about there's 3 boxes of burgers down there from the summer burger thing. I'll just make a bunch of burgers up.
You got bacon,
I can get some.
cheese.
Yeah, there's cheese down
All
there.
right.
It'll be like 2 people here.
That's fine. We'll just cook.
Well,
them
you
up.
only need 6 burgers.
I'll tell you what. We'll do a live show. We'll eat, and then we'll do a live
From
nighttime
the basement?
nighttime thing from the basement.
From the basement.
Do you remember we did the food cook-off thing that time? The Iron Chef thing that one year?
Yes.
That was fun.
That was a good time.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that.
Doug was walking around in his red vest.
It was pretty good.
Now, if you walk around in a red vest, people might think you got a different show going on.
Right. Well, his lips weren't red.
Did you see I think it might have been Matt Walsh did a little piece on where they went around and they interviewed these moms that had their 12-year-old kids at these drag shows.
Yes, it's usually overweight moms who are
Well-
single.
Well, they're asking the moms, they're like, do you feel this is appropriate for your 12-year-old? Oh, yeah, she knows about this stuff, and she watches Disney. And I'm like, seriously? And then they were showing some scenes, or real quick scenes from this drag show. I mean, there is nothing clean about a drag show. Nothing clean.
Fatherless households.
My.
Fatherless households.
And I know these are small portions, but they're growing because it's becoming a mess. But so pray for the church,
Our society.
pray for our society.
Society.
Yeah, because the Lord cannot be happy with what's going on.
And it does seem like I was picking on my dad today, but I'm not.
Yeah, no, he's
It
a
is
good dude.
it's a pretty important scripture.
Yeah,
It makes you contemplate.
it does.
If narrow is the way, but wide is the path,
Right.
do you find yourself in the ditch?
Yep. And there's only one way. It's Jesus.
You'll be able to die
Yeah.
and see the doorway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Also, too, I hope your dad knows that I realize he doesn't just know Proverbs 26:11.
No, I know.
I mean, I think he knows John 3:16 too.
I'm pretty sure he's there.
Yeah.
He's on it.
Okay.
And John 1:1.
John 1:1.
Yeah.
In the beginning was the Word.
The word was God.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's only going to be in the King's English.
Yes. Yeah. The new, or no, yeah, just the Kings.
Just King's.
Yeah. Interesting. All right. Well, hey, have a Merry Christmas, and we will see you the Friday before New Year's, I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, no, should be.
All right.
Depends if we have any horrible winter storms.
Yeah. Be afraid. People are dying.
People are dying.
Okay.
And Merry Christmas, people.
David's asking if the EV service will be on the web. Yes, as long as we have service, we'll live broadcast it, I would think, right?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Yep.
For all of you people that live in North Dakota.
Shard and maybe he's cooking a leg and it takes 50 minutes.
It's probably
in the oven.
That's probably why. I'm serious. Do people not remember growing up in Ohio? Like, there actually was snow at one point back in the day.
I know, yeah.
Like, nobody
And
remembers
it was cold.
this? And it was
and,
cold.
And it was cold.
Yeah.
Nope, I agree. All right, and well, I don't remember having these coughs that hung on for 8 weeks, but
Right. I can remember going to a Dutch Christmas party with April in our gray Buick, front-wheel drive Buick, down slushy-covered, snow-covered roads
Right.
at 10 o'clock in the evening because the storm was so bad. And we didn't even think about
No, you
not
just
going
went.
to the...
the TV has people living in fear.
I know.
The TV now, since COVID, the TV tells people how to live.
Right. People say, well, that's when you were just stupid and young. Well, I'm
Yeah.
I'm stupid and old
You
now.
have to wear a mask. Masks don't have to be there now. Wait, masks are coming back.
Yeah.
COVID was here. Now it's gone. Wait, it's coming back.
Yeah.
Now we're afraid of the weather.
Now the flu's bad.
Flu's bad. No, listen. Just listen to the TV.
Yeah.
You'll hide under your covers.
Yep.
You will hide under your covers.
Like our dog Minnie.
Just like old Minnie.
All right. So Merry Christmas, everyone.
Merry Christmas. We're leaving for real.
Get your 25%
Go ahead.
at
You
Great Lakes.
Finish out.
They better send
We
that.
got an error report.